What's up, everybody? My name's Parasite. Welcome back to Schoolboy to Superstar with Borussia Dortmund. Today, we're starting on the dynamic screen just because I don't want to spoil what's happening, where we're at, what our chances are. So, have we won the league, or do we need to play to win the league? We have won the league. We won the league thanks to a Bayern Munich loss. So, I was hoping to come back for the game we needed to win the league. If I assumed me and Bayern were going to win, and then we just had to beat Leverkusen to win the league, and I would come back for that. But Bayern Munich lost to Leipzig. They actually had a terrible end of the season. 3 straight 8 points dropped from 3 games. That's not very good, but it was those 2 games didn't matter. This Leipzig game was the only one that mattered. They lost. We won the league because of it, because we beat Werder Bremen, I believe. Yeah, we beat Werder Bremen 3-0. So with that win and Bayern Munich's loss, we win the title. So we hoist the Bundesliga title for the first time in, let's look at past winners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Bayern Munich won it 9 years in a row. They were going for their 10th in a row, but we stepped up and beat them to it. We win the title for the first time in 9 years. We won it 2 years in a row, then all Bayern Munich dominance. Bayern Munich do finish second, though, pretty comfortably. There's definitely 3 or 4 tiers of teams here at the top. There's us, then there's a gap, then there's Bayern Munich, then there's a gap, then there's Leipzig, then there's a little smaller gap, and then there's everyone else, really. So, yeah, we definitely dominated this season. I'm very happy. Look at goal difference, almost double Bayern Munich's. We were just so good this year. And just a couple hiccups here and there. This major one right here, the Hoffenheim Schalke Man United, that 7-2 loss. I still don't understand that match. I don't know how that happened. I believe Manchester United are in the Champions League final, too. Because, they are. Because they're against Man City. Because English teams are stupidly overpowered in this game. Especially Manchester United. Because they literally have almost the exact same squad that they start the game with. They don't have Varane. They don't have Ronaldo. This is pre-winter transfer update. And they still are ridiculous. So, that's annoying. But we won the league. That's all I care about. So, what I want to do this episode, this is just going to be kind of a season review. And I'll have a look at the squad, where I think we need to improve, where I think we feel pretty comfortable. So, we'll start off with a season review. Let's go to competitions. Let's go to the Bundesliga. Let's go to stats, team detailed. Bayern in possession, Bayern had the lead, 56%. It's always going to be Bayern at 56% or more. We actually had under 50% possession. So that's pretty impressive to win the league that comfortably with that little of possession, which possession's not really anything I really care about in Football Manager. If I'm at a possession-hungry team like Bayern Munich, I'll try to care about possession a little bit more, but really, I just want to win. I just want to score goals, don't concede, win games, and possession can help, but it's not the determining factor. See, there's some teams in here, Mainz, who finished 18th, had more possession than us. They actually have Julian Nagelsmann as their manager. That's weird. But yeah, they finished 18th, and they had more possession on the season than we did. So possession means nothing. Pretty much nothing. Yellow cards, we are 5th. Paderborn, 92 yellow cards. Good lord. And 4 red cards. Don't care about form. Goals, we led the league. 79 goals. Wow, Bayern Munich did not score many goals. Only 65. Compared to our 79. We only had 5 corner goals. So, that's pretty impressive. 2.32 goals per game. Expected goals, 75. So, we didn't really score that many more than expected. So, we created a lot of very good chances. We only scored 4 more goals than expected, because we've got a ridiculous goal scorer in Erling Haaland. You would think the expected goals for would be lower than that, because he's scoring everything, but we just created a lot of good chances. I feel like that means there were a lot of good chances we created that we didn't put away. Our wingers aren't scoring some really good chances. I feel like I've seen that throughout the season, and I think this kind of correlates, because I'm sure Haaland, when you look at his individual, his expected goals are going to be a lot lower than his actual goals. Penalties, we actually tied for the most penalties. 7 penalties taken, scored 5 of them. Bayern scored 6. Cross completion, we actually had the best cross completion by a comfortable margin. 26%, and we completed the most crosses, which I'm not looking for early crosses. I'm not doing anything like that, so I'm not looking for overlaps. So that's kind of weird. We create so many crosses, but it obviously works. Corners, we had 5 goals. Direct free kicks, we had none. Indirect free kicks, we had 3. So we weren't even dominant on set pieces. We were just, obviously we had a lot of penalties, but still 7 compared to 79 goals. That's not that much in comparison. We're scoring a lot of open play goals. Pass completion, we were middle of the table, 11th. Passes completed, we were very bottom, 9,000. Under 10,000 passes completed on the season. Bayern Munich were nearly double. So, yeah, just find the right passes. That's kind of how I have this team set up. Find the right passes. Don't look for all the backwards passes, sideways passes. Just find the right pass. Clear-cut chances created, 45, most in the league. Shots, 543. Wow, most in the league by quite a bit. 40, nearly 40. Shots on target, 253. Shots on target ratio, we're kind of mid-table, 46%. Conversion rate, 4th. That's pretty good. Most shots per game. Most fouls. We were fouled the most, only by 3, but still we were fouled the most. Dribbles, 2nd. That's pretty good for our wingers. Dribbles per game, 2nd. Lost possession the least amount. So we completed the least amount of passes, but we lost possession the least amount. Usually you think those two wouldn't correlate because you don't pass a whole lot. It means you probably do a lot of long balls, but long balls are more likely to be possession to be given away. So it means we're creating a lot of good, important, key passes. I like that. Conceded the least, so we scored the most and conceded the least by a margin. Our defense was good. Nearly half of that. Well, obviously the game didn't count, but we conceded half of that against Manchester United in one game. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. Only 16 on the season, 16 and 34. Didn't concede many free kicks or set pieces at all either. Expected goals, 19. So we conceded a little bit less than expected. So goalkeeping on the season was pretty good. That's typically a reaction of your goalkeeping if you concede less goals than expected. So goalkeeping was pretty good, even with Berkey, who allowed 7 goals against Manchester United. I'm going to keep coming back to that because that's so frustrating. Corners tied for the least with 1. Direct free kicks, none. Indirect free kicks, 1. Clean sheets, 22. Most by quite a bit. Fouls made were kind of mid-table. It's kind of surprising because I'm getting stuck in and I'm playing really high tempo. I think that I'd be creating more fouls. We did win the most tackles, though, so we're just really good at tackling. We don't give away fouls. We just make the tackle. 1 ratio, 80%. Blocks, we're never going to be on those. We're always going to be last on blocks. And possession 1, we're low just because we don't give away the ball that much. Interceptions. Actually, second most interceptions. That's cool to see. Clearances, I'm sure we're last. Yep. Penalties conceded. We conceded 3 penalties. So quite a few penalties. Quite a few more than that. Oh my gosh, Paderborn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 16. How do you concede 16 penalties? I know they fouled the most, but still, 16. That's absurd. Good gosh. No, where did they finish? I'm sure they got relegated. No, 15th. How did they finish 15th when they give away 16 penalties? They didn't get relegated. Unbelievable. What else? Shots against. Least shots against us by quite a bit. Shots on target against, least by quite a bit. Highest average attendance. I don't really care about these sellouts. Transfer spend. We had the 5th highest transfer spend at $15 million. Bayern Munich spent $87 million just to finish behind us. Feels good, man. And we're nearly half their salary per annum. Yeah, we're good. Let's look at player detailed. Games 1. I don't really care about all these player of the matches. Headed 1. I do care about average rating. Erling Haaland, top of the average rating. 7.62, considerably top of the average rating. Reina up there. Bellingham up there. Meunier up there. That's surprising to see. Sancho. Berkey. Maybe I was rough to bench Berkey after that 7-2 loss, but he did well in the league. He did really well in the league. Don't think we're going to have on any of these. Obviously not possession loss. Goals, top goal scorer, Erling Haaland by 13. Tete of RB Leipzig is 2nd. Robert Lewandowski third, only 21 goals. That's not very many for Robert Lewandowski. Do we have anyone else on the goal scoring? Nope, just Erling Haaland. He scored crazy amounts of goals. The rest of our team, I mean, he scored 35. The rest of our team scored about, 36, 37? So, Erling Haaland, pretty good player. But yeah, look at this. Expected goals, 26. He scored 9 more goals than expected, but we only scored, 4 more goals than expected as a team. So, Erling Haaland is scoring tough goals and our wingers, our wide players most likely, or our midfielders, aren't scoring good chances. So, I do agree that we need better production from the wings. Like, Sancho was pretty good, but we didn't have a second winger that was any good this season. So, we need to find who that second winger is going to be. Our midfield is great. Scored a decent number of goals. Got a bunch of assists. I'm super happy with our midfield. It's just that second winger position. Sancho can play either side, so I just need someone that can play one of these two sides that can put in some good performances. Maybe it's going to be Royce. I don't think so. I think Royce is over the hill. So I don't know what I'm going to do with Royce. I don't know what I'm going to do for that second winger spot. Average minutes, he scored a goal every 68 minutes. Yusufa Moukoko scored a goal every 73 minutes. Do I need to... I am considering... I hadn't thought about this. What if I move one of the wingers to the striker position as an off-centered striker and bring in Moukoko? Our wingers aren't doing anything. Moukoko scored every 73 minutes, 5 starts, 13 sub-appearances, and 9 goals. Wait, 9 goals from 13 shots. Oh, Moukoko. That might be something I have to consider. I had a squad put together what I thought was our strongest squad, but maybe I have to change up the formation a little bit this season after seeing some of these stats. Erling Haaland, 117 shots. Wait. That's 70 shots. Shots on target. 13 shots on target, 9 goals. Pretty dang good. Yes, 70 shots on target. 170 total shots. Zagadou, second on our team on shots. Shots on target, Erling Haaland. Shots on target percentage, Erling Haaland's 59%. 80%, but he probably didn't have very many shots on target. I mean, 21 starts. Josh Sargent, the American. Best conversion rate, Yusufa Moukoko. Sancho up there, so it's not Sancho that's missing these chances. I think it's just our other winger. Shots per 90, Erling Haaland. We didn't score a free kick. Erling Haaland scored 5 of 7 penalties. Assists, Danny Olmo, 17 assists. That is crazy. Nearly double second place. We didn't have any one player that got a lot of assists. We just had a lot of players that all got a decent number of assists. Reina 7, Haaland 7, Header 6, Bellingham 6. So I have 4 players on this list. Haaland getting 7 assists as well as having the most goals. He's just a monster. Assists per 90, Reina's up there. Haaland, Guerrero. Good to see him up there because I wasn't super impressed with Guerrero this season. Key passes, Gio Reyna. I love to see that. Gio Reyna's absolute superstar in the midfield. Most key passes per 90 minutes. 5.44 key passes per 90 minutes. Reyna's a bit good. Just a little bit good. Yeah, he's developed a lot since the start of this series. He looks amazing. He looks so good. Gio freaking Reyna. If you have a chance to sign Reyna, do it. I'm sure he'd do well on the left-hand side as well. If we had another midfielder, that could be the change as well, putting either Reina or Bellingham on the left. But I kind of want to keep him where he's been successful this season, as that Mazzala role. Let's see, where were we last off? Key passes, clear-cut chances created. Jude Bellingham actually created more clear-cut chances, even though he had less key passes. Chan up there for as little bit of game time as he had, only 11 starts, 5 sub-appearances. Reina, Guerrero, Jadon Sancho. Passes attempted, we did not attempt that many passes. Pass completion, Dan Axel Zagadou up there. He's actually a really good passer, surprisingly. Crosses completed. How are we not on this list? We had the most crosses completed in the league. How do we not have a single player in the top 20 for crosses completed? That doesn't make any... Or crosses attempted. That doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe we just... I don't know. Our cross completion rate was pretty good, though. Reina, Haaland, Guerrero. Dribbles, How are we not up here? We were second most in dribbles. No one even dribbled. Oh, Jadon Sancho dribbles per 90. Offside, Erling Haaland, but I'll take it if you're scoring that many goals. And fouled the most, Erling Haaland up there. Of course, he's so physical. He's going to get fouled. Jude Bellingham is a little bit surprising, though. We're never going to be on... Well, actually, we are on some of these tackle ones. I didn't think we would be, considering we don't win the ball. I guess we win the ball quite a bit, but we don't lose the ball that much, so we don't have to win back possession that often. But Camavinga, 95 tackles. That's cool to see. Meunier up there. Tackle 1 ratio. Zagadou, 89%. Sancho, 88%. Tackles per 90. Meunier. Camavinga. Mistakes leading to the goal. Hopefully... No, we have Thomas Delaney. I'm going to say, hopefully we don't have anybody, but Thomas Delaney had 2 mistakes leading to goals, which is really disappointing because he's supposed to be our defensive option in the midfield. Nico Schultz, a former player, currently at Hertha, had tied for the most. So, not super mad he's not here anymore. Key tackles, Thomas Meunier. He's so good defensively. No key headers. Interceptions, we should be on this. Jadon Sancho, leading the team in interceptions. I like that. Intercepting the ball from the front. Like, the more aggressive you can be intercepting the ball, the higher up the pitch you intercept the ball, the easier the counterattack is. Blocks, don't have anybody. Clearances shouldn't have anybody, no. Berkey only conceded 9 goals in 25 appearances. I'm not sure if I'm assuming those are all starts. 0.36 per 90. Berkey's a tad bit good. 17 clean sheets, most in the league. Held saves, 22. Parried saves, 11. So he's not holding or parrying that many chances. He's just, I don't know, is that just him not conceding that many shots on his goal? Or is that him legitimately just saving everything? Penalties saved. He saved 1 of 2 penalties, so 50%, I'll take that. Save ratio of 80%, so 80% of the shots on his goal he saved. That's really good. That is really good. Yeah, I'm super happy with that. So, Berkey, spoiler alert, I didn't have him as our starting goalkeeper to start this season, but I might have to change that. Seeing how good he was, maybe he has to start. I wanted to give Van de Voort the start, but... So that's all for the stats. If we look at the squad, this is what I thought would be our starting squad to start the season. Van de Voort at goalkeeper. I planned on playing Berkey as well. I was planning on doing Van de Voort versus like the weaker teams, and then Berkey versus the better teams. I might still do that, just because I feel like Van de Voort really needs the game time. So I probably will still do that, but Berkey definitely changed his opinion in my mind. Papetti and Zagadou as our center backs. Bringing Papetti back in. D'Anzo is here for another year, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him permanently. I know Papetti's here permanently, and he's got ridiculous potential, so I want to reach that, so I want to give him as much game time as possible. Zagadou is also homegrown, so I want to give him a little bit of game time. He was pretty good. If we look at the stats on the season, he was pretty good. Good passer, solid in the air, 6'5". Calafiori gets to start at left back over Rafael Guerreiro. Guerreiro was there on a couple lists for crosses, but defensively, I feel like Guerreiro is really bad. I feel like Calafiori does better there. And he's our youngster who has a lot of potential. We want to see him play as much game time as possible. So he just looks really balanced. He's just a very balanced player. I think he'll be fine at that left back position. Midfield, obviously, is going to be Camavinga, Bellingham, Reina. Absolute superstars, all 3 of them. I planned on starting a Hatter in at right wing, just because of all the bad wingers, he was probably the best. Demir was just awful, so I could not start Demir. Jorge, and the little bit of game time I gave him at the last end of the season, did not do well. So yeah, but I think I'm going to switch it up. I think I'm going to move. Do I play Sancho on the left or right? That's another question. Where did he play better? If we look at his tactics, is that where we see? Yeah. He played better on the left-hand side than he did on the right. Wait. Oh, that's internationally. He played better on the right-hand side than he did on the left. So he's better on the left internationally, but he's better on the right for us. 6.91 for 8 games at left wing. 7.21 for 25 games at right wing. So, move Sancho back to the right wing, playing that trequartista role he seems to be good at. Move this position up here, and bring in Yusufa Mukoko. I'm assuming I want him as the deeper. What do I want? I mean, it's difficult, because Haaland's probably better at hold-up play, because he's super big and strong. But he's also our best goal scorer. I don't know what role to play Moukoko as. His best one is advanced forward. Do we go with 2 advanced forwards, or do we play Holland something differently? But I don't know if I want to do that because he just scored a ridiculous number of goals as the advanced forward. Uh, Maybe complete forward attack. Maybe deep line forward attack. Maybe pressing forward attack. I mean, he can do anything. He's 5 stars at every single role. I'm going to start him as a complete forward on attack. Moukoko as the advanced forward off of his left-hand side. Sancho on the right. I think this is what our starting lineup is going to be next season. I think I have to bring Moukoko in because none of the wingers are doing it. So Moukoko comes in to be the starter. Caio Jorge will be our backup striker now. I guess we need another backup striker on the. We need another striker then. If we're playing 2 strikers, we need another striker. Like we have Musiala for another year. Spoiler: I signed Musiala for another year. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with that second striker position. Like Musiala, I think it's going to be the guy as the number 4 striker. Like Liam Delap wouldn't agree on a new loan deal, so he's not coming back. He would have been good, I think. He looks really good. I think he would have been better than Musiala as our 4th striker, but he doesn't want to come back because he didn't play a single match. But I can't when I have Holland. I can't, like, by any right, put Liam Delap at striker when I have Erling Haaland fit and ready. That's just dumb. So, yeah, I think this is the squad on the bench I'm going to go with. Again, Berkey will come in sometimes for Van de Voort. I'm going to have I think I'm going to have Tanguy Nianzou on the bench. Nnamdi Collins will just be on the bench for the preseason, but I think Nianzou will be my bench center back, which means there won't be a whole lot of game time there for Manuel Akanji, but I feel like if I need to bring in a new starter for the game, I'd rather start Akanji than I would Nianzou. But if I want to bring him off the bench, I'd rather bring off Nianzou. I don't know. It's weird, but in my head, that makes more sense to me. So I think Akanji will still play a little bit, but he just won't play much off the bench. Guerrero, obviously the left back off the bench. Delaney, Nico, and Emre Can as the midfielders. I'm very happy with the midfielder we got. Hattern will be the backup off the right, and then Musiala and Caio Jorge, with Turkey being kind of the, if we need another left winger, he can come in there. I don't know. Do I put him or Demir on the bench for this preseason? Demir's been terrible. Let's go with Turkey. Turkey is he's either-footed, so he's just perfectly either-footed. Very strong on both sides, so he's very useful. He's not that good mentally, though. He's got some decent, really good technicals. He's not the not the fastest physically. Demir is actually really fast, almost as good technically, and much better mentally. Screw it, I'm putting Demir on the bench. He might have been awful, but he's the better player, just by his attributes. So yeah, this is the squad I'm going to go with. And before we go here, I wanted to show also some of our youngsters at the team. You saw a couple of them in the results for the last couple of matches, a couple that I brought into the first team, just to play a couple games. Start off with Dortmund 2. There's not a whole lot here. Most of it is in the under-19s. Bright Area B is not coming back. Stevanovic is not coming back. Harvey Elliott's not coming back. Rainier is. So he might not have played a single match, but he's still willing to come back for another season, while these others don't. So might try to get some of these guys on permanence if I can, but they won't be coming back on loans at least. Sarmiento is really our biggest youngster in this Borussia Dortmund 2, and he's injured with a fractured lower arm. So that's unfortunate, but he's got 5-star potential as a 2.5-star current ability player. Left footer on the right-hand side. Mentally, he's not there. Technically, he doesn't compete with Cherki and Demir, but physically, he's good. He's just a youngster we got for pretty cheap, 2.1 million, so he's already valued at 6. So if we just develop him and sell him on, that'll be fine. If he ends up being a backup, great. I don't think he'll ever be the starter. Kotchup is another one that, for some reason, can't be homegrown at club, so he's just going to be a backup long-term for us. We paid a lot for him, too. 20 million, so he needs to be a part of the squad for the long term. And he's really good physically, and decent technically, decent mentally. So if he could develop, he could definitely be our center back off the bench. Knopf is another youngster that I feel like has a little bit of potential. Started at the club. Decent all around. Really good passer for the winger. Left-hand side winger with the right foot. Hannibal's not coming back. Nasty Univar's not coming back. Carlos Alcaraz is the final one on this Port Russia 2 that I think has any future at this club. He could be our fourth central midfielder. If he might overtake Emre Can at one point. He's not as good defensively, which is kind of why I value Emre Can off the bench, because he's kind of a mixture between Delaney and Camavinga. He's got some decent passing, but he's also pretty good defensively. Alcaraz isn't really like that. He's more like Nico. He's a really good goal scorer for a central midfielder. So I think he could be really good for us. He played pretty well in the last couple of games of the season. That's about it for the Borussia Dortmund 2. The really exciting part is our under-19s. Our under-19s are stacked with talent. Absolutely stacked. Look at all the 5 and 4.5 star potential players in our under-19s. And only one of them, well, 2 of them if you count Nnamdi Collins, are a part of the first team. And Turkey, so 3. Only 3 of them are part of the first team. So there's just a lot of talent that is 16 to 17 years old. The one I wanted to show, my favorite probably, Lasse Riesgaard. It says he's a striker, but he's not a striker. He's currently 2-star ability at 16 years old. Same as Eichinger, the other guy I really like. But yeah, he's not a striker. He's a left inverted winger. He's just so good for 16 years old. He already has 16 dribbling, first touch, technique, and work rate, and determination, and aggression at 16. And physically he's good. Usually, like, a lot of these 16-year-olds are just absolute crap mentally, or physically and mentally. But he's good in both. Like, he's going to be an absolute superstar. We bought him from Midtjylland for $3 million. Absolute bargain. Probably our best signing of the series. I know we've signed some really good wonder kids, but he might be the best because he looks ridiculous for a 16-year-old. And the second one I really like, this one ginned at the club, Thomas Eichinger, a defensive midfielder. Again, really freaking good. Amazing mentals for 16 years old. 19 bravery. 9 concentration really sucks, but we can work on that. Really good physically. He's got 16 heading, even though he's only 5'9", so he's not a center back. So, yeah, I think he's really good. He's not amazing passing or tackling, but that'll definitely grow. He's got 5-star potential. I think he's really good. Ginned at the club. Some of the other ones we've got, another one I like is Andre Binkovich. He's not amazing right now. He doesn't have the physicals, really, but look at that heading, passing, 16 passing for a center back, 6'2". Again, he's got a lot of holes in his game, but he could be really good if he develops well. Ihan Pelivan, another regen, left footer off the right hand side. Really good physically, like 6'4" for one. As a winger, 6'4" with 16 jumping reach, 13 pace, 13 acceleration, and 12 strength at 17 years old. Amazing physicals for a 17-year-old. 17 technique. He's got a lot of areas he needs, technically and mentally, but I think he could be pretty good too. 5-star potential. Another one, Michael Pfeiffer, a right back, which is really important because right backs are hard to find. Our only, superstar potential right back is a left back that just has a strong right foot, so I'm playing him at right back. Luca Netz. But Pfeiffer, another young right back, I think he ginned at the club. Yes, he did. 14 crossing, 15 tackling, 16 work rate, 16 acceleration. This guy could be a star. Michael Pfeiffer could be huge at right back for us. He doesn't have the dribbling that I tend to like in fullbacks, but good tackling, works hard, good stamina, really fast. I really like Michael Pfeiffer. Brad Gibson, another player that ginned at the club, a goalkeeper from, isn't he from Australia? I think he's also from Australia. Yeah, he's also from Australia and Germany. Not ridiculous, but 15 reflexes, 12 one-on-ones is really good for a 16-year-old. Other than that, 15 agility, standout, 14 decisions, 14 communication. He's got some really good attributes, some holes in his game, and he looks like he could be a pretty good backup goalkeeper. I don't know if he's going to be able to supplant Van de Voort, but he could at least be a really good backup. Nnamdi Collins, we've already kind of looked at. Ridiculous physicals. 18 pace, 16 agility, 18 acceleration. He'll get a little bit of first-team football this season, I think. It says he's best at right back, which he's not a bad right back, but he's still a center back to me. 16 positioning, some decent technical stats. He's not great on the ball, which is why I don't really think he's a right back, but he could be a star. Only 18 years old. Ran Turkey, we already looked at earlier. Again, a lot of holes mentally. Not very good physically, but some really good technicals. A lot of potential. Only 18 years old. Bought him for $25.5 million. He's only valued at 10, but I think if we sold him, we would get a profit. And I don't want to sell him. The Lap is leaving. Doesn't want to stay at the club. That's enough. That's all the 5-star players. 4.5-star Jason Gow, another center back from Australia. He's pretty good. Like, he's only 5'10", which is his real concern. And he only has 5 dribbling, so he can't really be a left back. But he could grow. He's got decent jumping reach, so I think he could survive at center back. He needs to work on his strength and acceleration, but he's solid mentally, solid technically. For a 16-year-old, all good with that. I'll go with Jason Gow. Jamie Bino Gittins starts at the club. He's not a regen. He's a real player. He can play striker, too. Like, he's got good striker attributes, good finishing, good composure. Not very good passing, so I think he might actually be better at striker, even though he's got good crossing. He's really fast. So he might have a little bit of potential. I think with all the talent we have, especially, he can only be like a backup, but he could be a very valuable backup for us. And then I won't show you the 4 stars. They're not that amazing. Joseph Aruda I will show you Joseph Aruda because he's from the Philippines. A 4-star potential player from the Philippines. Gemmed at the club this season. Not great. Really good reflexes and handling. But other than that, not amazing. But just the fact that he's from Philippines is pretty cool. And then we have got one from Angola, Alberto Bala. Again, not an amazing player. Really good decisions and determination. But again, yeah, Angola. I think it's always cool to get weird nations. And then Bamba's from Germany. That's about all for the strong players we got on the bench. Or got in the under-19s. So the last thing we'll do is go over our vision and expectations meeting. We'll play attacking football, use the youth system. Obviously, we're going to do that. Sign players from domestic rivals. We'll try. Sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. I think that's going to happen. Don't sign players over the age of 30. I literally can't. Sign German players. We've signed a fair few German players. They want us to challenge for the Bundesliga title again next season. I'm fine with that. Reach the semifinal of the Champions League. That's a little tough. That might be a little tough. I'll accept that vision, though. End of season team meeting. We're going to do it again next season. They like it. I don't say we're going to win it. Reach the final. Latter stages of the Champions League. Yeah. I'm not going to say we're going to reach the final. The board don't even want us to reach the final. I'll do promises later. It's a solid team meeting. Training camp destination. Can we go to America? No. We can go to Austria, Italy, or Switzerland. Tyrol, Austria. I like the name Tyrol. That's literally the only reason I'm considering it. Ooh, Trentino Alto Adige, Italy. That's a good name. Graubünden. Burgenland. I'm going to Burgenland. Sounds like a theme park. Let's go to Burgenland. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for this episode. In terms of players we're looking to sign, there's not a whole lot. We're doing a lot of scouting still, so we're scouting a lot of regions, trying to find some more really good young regions that are coming in. I'll go over a few that are coming in. This one I'm not super happy with. Jose Manuel Chan. It's a lot of money, $5 to $6 million. The most out of any of the players we're signing, and I think he's actually probably one of the worst. I'm not super happy with this signing, but you'll have a few duds in there. He's probably one of them. This one I'm pretty happy with. Dalibor Stjepic, another fullback, left back this time. I think much better. Not as good physically, but he's got the better strength. Amazing jumping reach, even though he's only 5'11". But his mentals are really good. Got some solid technicals, and he's a lot cheaper. He was only, $2 million. So that's some good business. Some midfielders, one German one from Gladbach, Marco Bottolatti. He says he's a winger, but I'm going to play him as a central midfielder. Technique, teamwork out the butt. Decent physicals, decent mentals, decent technicals. Got him for pretty cheap. 3.5 to 4.5 million. So for a German player, I think that's probably worth it. 2 to 3.5 million. Luka Buzic. He's probably more of a left-sided inverted winger. So I don't have to retrain him to a new position, but he's got really good physicals. Not much else, but he's 16, so he's got 4.5 star potential, I believe. So I think all these players have 4.5 stars, except Jose Manuel Chan, who has 4. And then Serdar Kilic, the last one, super cheap, $850K from Red Star, 17 years old, so a little bit older, but really good physicals, really good mentals. Technicals need some work, but for strikers, usually strikers have really low finishing for whatever reason. So to get one with 10 finishing, that's acceptable. We got him for super cheap. 4.5-star potential, I believe. No, 4-star potential, this one. So I think for how cheap we got him, that's a fine signing. Those are all the players coming in. No players really going out. A couple that are just youngsters at the club that don't have that much potential. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. In terms of like the players I said I'm looking for, most of them I'm still scouting, trying to find. Like there's some that I want. There's one that I want here, Christian Konate, another midfielder. Looks really good. Look at those mentals. Absolutely absurd for 17. But they want like 50 million for him. So he's unhappy. We're trying to force them to sell him to us. Hopefully that happens. But he's really the only one I'm looking at. No one really wants to sell any of these other players that are really good. So Konate is the only one I think I might be able to land. So we'll see. We'll see when I come back if I have any other new signings. We'll see. A lot of it will determine on the scouting we get from here to between here and now, or between here and the beginning of the next season. The next episode will be the start of the next Bundesliga season, the third Bundesliga season with Borussia Dortmund. Our players are getting 1 year closer to being homegrown, 1 year closer to being able to complete the series. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. If you made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials are also in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.